Hi, to those who are watching from YouTube right now, we will begin shortly at 8:30. All right, so I will start the live broadcast right now. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this webinar brought to you by Tenaga Investment Bank that is titled Live Chat with Solarvest Holdings Bhd, Turning Sunlight into Investments. So this is Shen Chu from Wellford. Today we are very excited to be hosting the Group CEO of Solarvest Holdings Bhd, Mr. Davis Chong, in our session to share with you the background of Solarvest, the company information, the business performance, as well as the future prospect of Solarvest. Are you guys ready for this? Okay. If you are ready for this, please type ready in the comment box and let me see. Okay. If you're geared up for this sessions, type ready. Wow. Excellent. Wow. I like one of you who put a lot of exclamation mark. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for spending your precious evening with us today to learn more about Solarvest. Now, as you know, solar energy is getting very hot right now, okay? And with our energy commissions also unveiling the LSS4, which is very attractive package. And Solarvest is one of the few companies who get to benefit from this LSS4. So today we are featuring the group CEO of Solarvest to share with you more about the company as well as maybe their participation in LSS4. All right. So disclaimer, whatever we share on this webinar is only for educational purpose. So in no way that we give any recommendation to buy or sell any companies that we mentioned in this webinar. So if you decide to make any investment decisions after this webinar, you do it at your own risk. All right. So everybody cool with that? Excellent. All right. So without further ado, may I hand over the sessions to the Group CEO of Solarvest Holdings Bhd to do his presentation. Over to you, Mr. Davis Chong.
Hi, Shane. Thanks. Thanks for everyone. Excited to see a lot of people tonight. I think let me share the screen. Okay. I hope that we have you guys can view the screen as well.
Yes, we can see your screen and hear you.
Okay. Shall we start?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. Good evening to everyone. Thanks for attending this. So in this session, I will bring you to some latest development of Solarvest, and I will share some latest news. I mean, in LSS4 and everything from beginning until the latest. Our plan, our direction for Solarvest today. So maybe some of you have heard about Solarvest, as a solar energy player in the past. So I'll brief you through what is the history of Solarvest. How did we start the business? For this company, I think a few of us we started since 2012 with the born of the FIT. That time, it's very early stage of Malaysia solar energy industry. and we start to have this FIT program for residentials and for small, I would say small commercial industrial. We call it non-individual projects. So that time we start as a major of our project is residential projects, because nobody want to do residential that time, and everybody think like, they want to go for commercial industrial. So we start off to do the things, the projects that actually being ignored or nobody want to do it. So then we start to gain about momentum, about 80 over houses, then go to a few hundred houses. So we start to residential to start to do EPCC. Then we start to move to commercial industrial after 1 year. When we got like 100 over houses, then I had a fundamental for us to start the business. Then so that's how we move from the FIT for residentials to FIT for commercial industrial. Then in the last few years, we really focus a lot of attention on large scale solar farm projects. So we are one of the earlier adopter, earlier EPCC that involved in with to get license, GCPV license from SEDA. So and with that, we are about we expand to about 150. Now actually is 180 employees, and we successfully listed the company in ACE Bursa market in 2019. Then we have 3 offices in PJ, Penang, and Johor to manage the domestic business in 3 different regions. In fact, further than that, we are already expanding ourselves to Taiwan and also Philippines. We have our team in Taiwan, Philippines, and we're setting up our Vietnam plants as well. That's a brief introduction of Solarvest. So with that, maybe I bring you through about how is the shareholding structure for Solarvest. I think the share price is a bit old, so or around that, I'm not too update on that. So I think our market cap is about 1.1, just slightly above 1 billion. We a few guys of us is still the majority shareholders for Solarvest, and the name is Atlantic Blue Holdings. We hold 38.1% of Solarvest Holdings, and Jinhin, which is our cornerstone investors, our partners, that they came in before our listed. In fact, they put a lot of effort to work with us to list the company as well. So they own about 26.3%, and the other 35.6% is owned by public. So 10.4% is actually institutional shareholders. In fact, at one time, our institutional shareholders, it goes until like 14% plus. So that's how our shareholding structure in Solarvest. Okay, what do we do? Major, I would say, based on latest or last year ratios of our EPCC business, our main income is from EPCC for homes, for commercial industrial buildings, and for large scale solar farm. So I would say that now currently we actually have a very low percentage of for residential, because after FIT, the policy is not so encouraging for residential, because the break-even time is sometimes about 6-7 years or 8 years. It depends on the size and of the complexity of the installations. So it's still trying to get attentions or to attract homeowners to install. But now I think there are some zero capex program that it start to increase the interest back for homeowners. But it's not really the market that we are really focusing at the moment. But the 2 other markets is actually our focus, which is the factories for factories and commercial buildings, and large scale solar farms such as LS4. And another thing that we are different from other EPCC, we start to own 1 megawatt of the FIT PV plant in Kedah, which gives us a very good 1.6 million net profit every year as a base to the company. And then that's how we become the LS4 asset owner as well now. So I think we are the first pure EPCC to own a 50 megawatt solar farm by ourselves. Okay, so with that, I summarized our track records in the past from 2012 to now. We start off with residentials, EPCC. We build about 800 over homes, about 700 megawatt. Then we're doing, I think that now is more than 300 properties from commercial industrial buildings, 100 megawatt over size of the solar EPCC. There we also do Malaysia's largest solar PV rooftop, which is that rooftop consists about 31 megawatt of solar rooftop. We built 7.7 megawatt in 40 days for these projects. And also large-scale solar farm, which we actually completed 9 LSS1, LSS2, and LSS some direct award LSS projects since LSS1. So that's about 250 megawatt of capacity with as an onshore EPCC and a full turnkey EPCC. So we built from this track record, we actually built the first LSS1 project that being commissioned in Malaysia. We built the first floating solar plant that being commissioned in LSS2. So those are our track records and that the confidence that why we can have a successful program in LSS program. Okay, I think everybody have seen the solar energy business, and this is one of the growing industry in Malaysia. And what is our growth strategy? And why and the outlook is strong, and how do we get along with the wave? So we all know that ESG compliance or ESG elements is very important to all the industry, different factories, especially all the MNC that have plants in Malaysia or even the global. So a lot of companies are now moving to RE100, which is they plan to become an RE100 company in certain years that then after their operations. So all of them, due to the shareholder or investor requirements, and then they need to push their business to be RE100. So that's a trend that everybody is following globally. So you can see that some of our customers like Tesco, the one that we built solar plant to them, Intel, Google, Coca-Cola, Facebook, all these people, they already commit to RE100. So this is a trend that all the industrial or corporate players, they need to convert their energy to be 100% RE. And this is growing every year. This is why that's fuel our growth of the company to do more projects every year as well. So another thing, we look at Malaysia. What is the statistical numbers of Malaysia? With 20% RE mix, we know that this was set during PH government. We need to grow ourselves to become 20% RE. So 20% of our energy source contributed by renewable energy. We did 20%. So what is the total number that we need to build? From that calculations, we still need to build. We need to have 6.3 gigawatt of RE capacity in Malaysia. Then that time we already have, let's say LSS3, LSS2, LSS1 that we have orders. We still need to build 3.5 gigawatt of solar renewable energy projects. So and we minus off the LSS4 and recent NEM a few hundred megawatt. We might still need to build about 2,000 over megawatt in the next few years before 2025. And that majority of the capacity are solar. So we always, by statistically and historically, we always see that solar energy is about 70% of the RE development in Malaysia. So we still have a lot of a huge capacity towards 2025. And okay, why people want to do solar projects and on their rooftop, whether as an investment? Solar energy neutralize carbon footprints, so it's contribute a lot to the ESG and compliance. It's a sustainable source, scalable, it's easy, so it is very stable and direct. So it's a protection against price fluctuation and cost saving. So it built it in the business, especially in Malaysia, when you have tax incentive that even do a lot more cost saving for your business. Like with the GITE at the moment, you probably can have an ROI around 3 years right now to break even on your investment for the solar energy project for your business. So that is, of course, investment benefits as well. A lot of people, you can see the recent LS4 winners. The other industry player also, property development, other businesses also, they're putting investment into solar energy plant to own a government PPA to sell energy to TNB. So that applied to homeowners, factories. If you're building owners, it increase your property value. You have tax allowance, and also it's a long-term recurring income for asset owners, and it's a low-risk investment. Okay, to talk about the industry outlook, it's encouraging. then how do we become the winner? How we stay at the head of the curve? EPCC and O&M, of course, is our stronghold. Is our core values in the business, that why we build so many projects and we have so strong pipeline. This is why we handle A to Z from solar PV installations. Of course, we have our expertise. We work with great partners to make sure the projects that being delivered successfully, and to improve the yield after, and to make sure the performance are there for our clients. And also we provide the O&M services with Envision Digital and the high performance operating system from our ecosystem, that to continue to safeguard our customer investment in the future after the post installations. So this is the values that we keep on emphasize to our people and our clients, that to continue to maintain our positions as one of the most competitive EPCC in Malaysia. So by that also we do consultations of the projects or solar energy business model to investors and our consumers as well. So other than that, the engineering value that we bring, what are we doing for the ecosystem? We're working with banks, UOB, Hong Leong Bank, and other banks as well, even though we don't sign the MOU with them. We partner with them to finance to our solar energy projects, or bring solar energy project to their client that they are interested to build solar on their businesses. The other thing, we also work along with investment partners to pair up the solar investor with the consumer who they might not want to pay capex to their projects. Example like G-Sparks, Nefinco, Cleantech, and all the other people that they are invest in corporate PPA. With that, we also co-invest by ourselves in the corporate PPA as well. So we're also working in Allianz, Anora as their agency, that to offer a peace of mind insurance package during construction and after construction to our consumers, to our customers as well. So basically, we become one-stop solution provider. But as long as you're interested in solar energy projects, then we will provide all the whole package to you. And with recent development on LS4, I think everybody interested what are winners and how is this projects. And we're very happy that we are one of the shortlisted winners with Atlantic Blue won 3 projects, 25 megawatt, 30 megawatt, and 12 megawatt AC in Perak and Selangor. So both three of the projects target COD date is 2022 and 2023. And by that, after we commissioning the 3 projects, we expected we able to have a base of PAT performance 8 to 9 million ringgit a year. So this is a huge breakthrough to us to have a recurrence income on top of the 1.6 million or 1.6 to 1.8 million a year from our current 1 megawatt FIT plant. So that gives us about 10 million ringgit of recurrence income every year after that. Okay, what is approximately high-level timeline for the project to run? After we get the notification from ST from 12 March to be notified as a shortlisted winner, then we start to send acceptance of successful bidder to them, start to fulfill the PPA signing requirements, start to develop the EPC contract with our subcontractors, finalize the signing. Then we do all the pre-development work, planning on the site, on the engineering itself, start to develop the O&M contracts. Then we're going to fulfill the bank requirements to achieve the financial closure in 3 to 6 months' time. Then after that, in the next 12 to 24 months, that we're going to issue NTP to contractors to work. We'll do all the necessary on the work, installation, all this, continue to achieve the COD. That COD is a commercialization of the solar plant. Then we'll start to get income from the energy sales. Okay, other than that, we're talking about development in Malaysia. So what are we doing outside of Malaysia? We already started to do 2 pilot projects in the Philippines. I know a bit long that we talk about that, but due to COVID, it's got a bit delayed. But next, we're looking into the market of 1,000 megawatt in Philippines that our local partner in Philippines that are working on to develop as well. So we'll continue to develop rooftop solar in Philippines, like what we did in Malaysia, and we also invest. And recently, we are also participating in large-scale utility scale projects bidding in Philippines. So we do expect that we will start to generate Philippines operations to expand it in the probably next year, if provided the COVID issue is slowing down and travel is allowed and border is open. So even now, I think we all know Philippines is not allowing anyone to travel to them. Taiwan, last year we acquired a company 51% of Thailand Energy, who is on the roadmap to get a 40 megawatt ownership of the FIT PPA. So we are expecting that we will make progress on this milestone this year to be able to sign the contracts and then to kick off the project to commence the work next year. And with that along the line, also we are expecting 90 megawatt of EPCC work for other projects in this participation. So we do expect Taiwan have a huge development in the next few years. Okay, let's look into financial highlight. If you look into the growth of Solarvest in terms of revenue or in terms of net profit in the past few years, you can see the CAGR growth is tremendous. It's 86% in terms of revenue. It's 34% in terms of net profit. So that is for last year performance. This year, we are actually a bit slowed down in terms of revenue because we are missing out on LS3, and we decided we're not participating because there are only 5 projects in the market, and that is not a good return or good participation for the current situation. So we decided not to participate in the LS3 and focus on LS4. So all this revenue and all this net profit is coming purely from commercial industrial segment, which we have, I think, almost double growth from last year. But you do see a shortfall due to LSS missing as well. So for 9 months performance, we have done 161 million and 9.8 million of net profit. And we just end our Q4 recently. We are looking to close the account, and hopefully we can actually target to repeat last year performance. So that is what our full year target when we close FY21. And you look at the balance sheet, our total borrowings, total cash, net cash, gearing, net asset per share, all are very healthy. I would say that total borrowing is low because we haven't really go full swing on our investment decisions on solar asset. So we will be increasing of total borrowings when we start to really we issue bonds. We will actually have term loan to start to work on LS4 project, on NEDA project. So that will actually increase total borrowings. So if you look at our net cash position is 64.3 million, gearing is low, is 0.1 something. Okay, let's move on to revenue breakdown. Like I said just now, we are missing in LS3. You can see the LS revenue from 9 months before is only 3.4 million from LS2 projects. Then you can see FY 2020, we have 152 million revenue from LSS. So now we have 151.4 million from CNI versus last year total at 93.7 million. So we have almost double our growth in CNI from last year to this year. And we do expect that this will be continued where we have the full year performance. Okay, next thing I think very important, everybody look at our order book. We always maintain our order book healthily, about 180 million to 200 million every quarter for the unbilled order book. And for Q3 closing, we have 196.5 million unbilled order book, and 98.5% is from commercial industrial. So we haven't got Q4 after the closing, but I do expect the same, that how it grows for CNI. Okay, some of the activities that we have done to reward the shareholders. We have reward shareholders with interim dividend. We have done bonus warrants. We've done bonus issue recently. So this is all the activities that we have done last few months when the share price went up, and we have completed this exercise by now. Okay, then let's move on. What is the next near term for Solarvest? What is our directions? I think That's talking about next 1 year's for our directions. So in terms of residential market, we do have very low participation in the residential market. You can see that we build very little project now, but we're still actively speaking with property developer to build potential business opportunity when the housing market coming back, when we want to build more solar ready house for property developer. So this is what we're always focusing on, to build mass level, few hundred houses at one time with property developer. We believe that will give a property market a boom. People will like this kind of house. When they bought the house, they might not need to pay the TMB bill for the next 25 years. Go to CNI market, it's the same. We work with different value chain player, the project developer. We also co-invest by ourselves, and we also do the capex project by the building owner as well. So there's no doubt we'll continue to conquer this market. 50 million to 75 million of contribution every quarter. So we hope this is going to be stable, steadily deliver the performance in next few quarters as well. And for LSS, we already have this result from LSS4 that we are participating as EPCC and also co-asset owner. We continue to grow our portfolio in NEDA. If you know NEDA, P2P TPA is a next program for utility scale. So other than completing LSS4 as an EPCC and co-asset as an asset owner, we will continue to grow our portfolio in next new program as well. And we do expect the LSS5 to coming up soon as well. So other than that, we continue to enhance our O&M services. This is the future recurrence income for us as well. We are adopting the AI-powered digital solutions to capture the O&M market with energy management as well. So this is to complement our services in CNI and the LSS project as well. Okay, hi Shane. I think this is what I have to briefly introduce Solarvest business and background to all the audience tonight. And I hope that should make everybody know more about Solarvest.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis Chong, for your insightful presentation on Solarvest. All right. So if you have any questions to ask Mr. Davis, you may type your question in full sentences, so we can understand your question. Okay, write your questions in full sentences, so we in the Q&A box, not the chat box. So if you have already written in the chat box, please retype your question in the Q&A box so we can easily manage your question. All right. So the first question we have from Hui Su is that what is the average initial capital outlay for installation of solar panel in a residential house?
It's a range in them or EPCC that you choose. I would say that per kilowatt now it range from about 4,000 to 5,000, depends on the size. And most typical houses can fit to 4 to 6 kilowatt. Some bigger houses can fit to 8 to 10 kilowatt.
Okay, thank you so much. The next question is asked by Chan Chi Da. Like, how do you position the company in 10 years?
No, that long. We are okay. It's a little long. Let's talk about 5 years first. We recently have been spending time to look into strategic development of Solarvest. Where are we going to be? What is the organic growth and inorganic growth for Solarvest? We do want to expand Solarvest to become an energy player, regional, of course. Geographical expansion is no doubt a no-brainer strategy. To look into different value chains of solar energy spectrum is also a no-brainer. But further than that, what can we do? We've been looking to different technology to integrate into energy business. Example, why we partner with Digital and Vision Digital, that to bring in AI technology into this. We're looking into BSS storage solutions to add into utility and also possibly to residentials, so that we don't need to apply quota next time. if we want to do solar project for residentials. There are many different technology. I would say hardware and software, or even different integration. Like we're looking into blockchain for P2P energy trading. End of the day, it is how we utilize the technology solutions in different, not only in energy, to enhance the applications of renewable energy to the consumer or even to the business itself. This is what I think a general future directions Solarvest on the move to. It is not to become an EPCC or project developer in the future. We've been talking about will we expand some digital solutions to do energy retailing? Will we become a Uber or Grab in energy retailing? That is possible in the next 5 to 10 years. But we can think out of the box to plan strategically this milestone. So one of the good things that we have for Solarvest in the recent next 1-2 years development is we don't need to worry of our bread and butter. We got a very strong pipeline in the next 2 years. 600-700 million of EPCC contract in the next 2 years, 50 megawatt of EPCC with 10 million of recurrence income every year. That gives us a very strong fundamental to grow ourselves. Of course, we can look for more contracts, but we are not desperate in the market to grow, to get contracts. We have a very good base, and this is the feel or the fun for us to think of more longer roadmap, 5 years or even 10 years, that what kind of player we want to become. We want to move on to different regions. But we are always interested to move. Our target is Southeast Asia right now. For the next 10 years, I do believe we want to become a global energy player to integrate more technology into renewable.
Okay, this is very insightful about the futures going forward for Solarvest. So the next question is, solar photovoltaic has a critical weakness, which is unable to generate energy during nighttime. So the only way to solve this problem is to increase the massive storage. So will the company spend on R&D to address the problem?
Okay, that's true. The critical weakness is true during the nighttime. But that is why in the past we always ask people to participate in NEM program, because that NEM program, the policy of NEM, let you to use the grid as the storage, keep as a credit, and then you come back to use it at night, and you don't need to spend on the storage. So that is why it's so wonderful about this NEM program, NEM 2.0. But NEM 3.0 now, they still pay you as a SMP rate, better than it's not like zero when you don't use it. So that's true. And we are looking at storage technology. We are working with Envision Digital, Sandro, Huawei to adopt to their technology to integrate their solutions into our solar energy solution. We definitely not gonna invent or R&D new battery storage technology, but we will adopt their technology and to integrate them into our solutions. So this is what we are doing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis. Could you also enlighten us on the issue of storage during peak output, distribution to the grid, stability of supply versus wind and gas? So this question is asked by Yok Fong.
I'm trying to get the questions from him.
Okay, so the question
sorry,
is,
what exactly is the question?
Can you enlighten us on the issue of storage during peak output, distribution to the grid, stability of supply versus wind or gas?
I think that is I go back to the curtailment issue of the utility scale solar. So that is why when we use solar, too much of solar connected to the grid, we call it utility scale, that it will actually spoil the grid because the solar energy is intermittent. So when 12 to 2 o'clock is the peak, so you can't handle, the grid can't handle this kind of source, intermittent source at certain level. So we need to improve, we need to stabilize the source, and there are limited renewable energy source can be connected to the grid. And that is what storage coming in to stabilize. So when you surpass that certain number of AC source, then it will being cut off, but you don't want to waste the energy. So you're supposed to store it inside the storage, then continue to pump back the energy into the grid when the when the solar performance is low. So this is why storage kick in. And of course, grid stability and it is one of the challenges, that how much of renewable energy you can connect. And in Malaysia, we do have this problem, but I think TNB also did a good job. Then they come up with all this capacity that you can install, the maximum capacity that you can install to every substation. We do see the limitation, but it's been clearly to tell you that these are all the list of the substation you can connect how many megawatt of solar. So then you just based on the list to design or to bid for your utility scale projects. But it will come to a point that all the substation being connected full. So we hope that TNB will improve their substations grid stability to let us connect more renewable energy into the
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis. So the next question is by Kichwa, who would like to ask, what makes Solarvest stand out from other solar players such as Maiden and C-Park?
Cyber is one of the long-term player. I think they are not exactly the same layer like they are the asset owner. They start off with asset owner, and they are from different RE, waste to energy, and other business that they are involved. And I would say that they have different portfolio in the business and different working model, which is one of the strong player in renewable energy market as well. But they are not EPC. They are asset owner, and we are EPC, and we slowly become asset owner. So we are lean, we are more lightweight, and you can see that in our financial the parameter in our financial numbers also. So that is why we are different from them. Specifically talking about Maiden, I think we regard them as a strong competitor also. They are very well versed in other RE as well, biogas, and in large scale solar farm for EPCC as well. The different thing is we are in early stage, very early stage to diversify our business. We are in residential, we are in commercial industrial, then we are in LSS as well. Some people will say that certain player is very strong in LSS, certain player is very strong in commercial industrial. But I'll say that we are both. We are the only player that diversify well in both, and also getting ourselves into asset ownership now. LS4 is a big breakthrough, and also we expand very well on our O&M contracts, O&M services, which we are the first. We are the only EPCC have our own operation maintenance arm to give O&M services to other people, other EPCC project as well. This is the main difference. Other than that, then we have roadmap our growth pretty in line with where we want the company to go. Overseas expansions, asset ownership. Further than that, I would say moving into storage, other renewable energy. I'm sure that other player, they probably do that as well, but we see a very clear roadmap that where do we want to go in the next 3 years, and now I would say in the next 5 years.
Okay. So when you think of solar energy, think of Solarvest. Okay, one-stop player. The next question is by Fang Zhong Tong. Would like to ask about the LS4. So how is the LSS4 bring the benefit to Solarvest, and what is the profit margin in this project?
I think we have two topics. One is asset owner. Asset owner is very clear. This is a capex investment. We have the financing 20% equity, 80% financing. We do it, the project IR is 10 to 12%. Equity IR is 15 to 70%. That's clear, a very good investment. Give you 8 to 9 million PAT a year after its commissioning. That's no doubt that is very good investment. So other than that, LS4, we have about 265 to 300 megawatt of EPCC contract, 600 to 700 million in the next 2 years that we're going to digest. Turn it to become revenue. The GP target GP range is about 10 to 15% based on the size of the project. So for the 600 to 700 million of revenue.
Okay, thanks so much for the information. Terry would like to ask Mr. Davis, what is the company's order book replenishment target for financial year 2022?
Maybe I will share that what is really in our pipeline, our confident pipeline. So we have just two things to talk about: C&I market, LSS pipeline. C&I market, look at our past few quarters, or maybe you can trace back the past 4 to 6 quarters. What is the replenishment rate? It's about 50 million to 75 million a quarter. So that's all I digest every quarter, I bring back the order book every quarter, 50 million to 75 million, consistently in the 4 to 6 quarter. That's what we're hoping that we'll repeat the history in the next few quarters as well. LSS pipeline, like what I presented, 600 to 700 million that we are waiting to sign to deliver in the next 2 years by end of 2023. So if you divide by 2 years, that's about 300 over million a year.
Okay. Yeah, the follow-up question is Solarvest impacted by the rising solar panel prices? It is understand that the price have increased 10% this year. So what are the measurements the company is going to take to mitigate the impact?
We already mitigated the impact from the last few quarters. It is not first 10% it raised. In the past 6 months, it will raise 10%. We do expect in the second half of the year, it will raise. That's what we're doing: early procurement, strategic program, multi-sourcing. So it does get impact, but we're managing the impact. And of course, we adjust our project pricing accordingly as well. And then we do think that our impact is lower than the other competitor or in the market. Example, the price now is, let's say, is 23 cents per watt. I did this quarter procurement last 2 quarters ago. So that time the price I bought is about maybe 21, 22. So it's a bit, yeah, it's at the increase, but it's just less than other people who didn't do early procurement. So yeah, we're working closely with volume. We're working closely with our suppliers to forecast the price and to get early indicator that whether we should purchase it early or not. Of course, we have enough facility to do early procurement. And another thing also, so far Solarvest is the biggest purchaser for commercial industrial projects. Consistently, we purchase 25 megawatt a quarter. So we are one of the big customers for our suppliers. Not comparing with the LSS purchaser, because in C&I we are quite consistent and to fulfill our contracts every quarter. So we do gain a bit of traction and attention from our suppliers to work with us and to give us strategic pricing.
The next question is by Chan Kai Wei. What is your company orientation and strategic plan against the limited NEM 3.0 quota? For example, the NOVA scheme at commercial and industrial sectors, because not more than 1 month of initiation, the quota was almost taken half.
Yeah. Other than NOVA, we are actually working on Celco also. That is how we mitigate. We work on PPA. Now the Celco program, it can be sell as PPA as well. So yeah, Nova program, how fast the quota being digested is one of the concern of all market players. I think so. Of course, before the quota finish, we're gonna talk to ministry to look for a next program. Before the quota finish, before the quota Nova quota out, we actually already get we have a speaking session with ministry, with SEDA as well. So they all do give us an indicator like, okay, let's look at how is NOVA 3.0, the NEM 3.0 NOVA program market reaction. If it's gonna be digested earlier than expected, then of course we'll think of a new program for the industrial player. But other than the NOVA program, we can also know government. Government is for government buildings. We're also looking to that. Of course, the 100 megawatt of residentials, that we hopefully that some of the developers will take up to it. We do want to roll out a developer program as well, and this is what we are working on to mitigate the impact of NEM quota. But we do believe that after the quota finish, the government will push out a new program to make sure that the solar industry is still moving. Of course, after, if we have this kind of P2P program running, then I would say that it will automatically give us a new working model that we don't need quota anymore.
Okay. The next question is by Yu Han. Does Solarvest have plan to venture upstream, like manufacturing of wafers, modules, power cells, to reach higher profit margin?
That's gonna reach you lower profit margin. That's not gonna reach you higher profit margin. So that is a cutthroat business. So we're not gonna move that.
Okay, so going upstream is even more cutthroat than existing business model. So the next question is by Chong Long, who want to ask, do you consider TMB as your competitor, or do you consider them as cooperative partner to resell the generated energy?
Of course, we don't. If you know Solarvest, we're working closely with G-Spark, one of the TMB arm in renewable energy. We are one of their we work with them with a lot of projects on their NEM program. We bring them projects, and also we participate in their project that they want corporate PPA as well. So we're working closely with them. We're also looking into future program to work with them as well, when example Goman and Nova as well. So we work along together to become the engineering partner. So they get the contracts, then we deliver the projects. We do the O&M as well for them. The market is big enough. I mean, they have their niche market that they're able to sign the PPA. Also, we're able to get our own market to sign PPA and also deliver our project as well. So I don't believe that is a direct competitor, but in actual fact, we're working as a partner.
Okay, so there's also a follow-up question on this company called Renewable, who is actually planning for RTO listed. The question asked is, will you consider them as a strong competitor, as they are also the asset owner and EPCC provider as well?
Yeah, in some way. But if you understand renewable energy field, this industry, the competitor, they can co-develop projects. They work together. When you have niche opportunity that you're able to access, but you need a strong partner in certain area, and at the right time, to co-invest on it or to subcontract out is possible. This is how it works. It depends on the contract negotiation, but if they open up to look for EPCC, we might bid for the project as well.
Okay. Let me get the next question now. So the next question is by Chris. What is your opinion about residential market potential in the next 3 years?
The developer model need to go up. If you continue to have retrofit systems like now, depends on NEM residential quota, and then one house by one house to install. The installation rate, it won't be surprising. It's just like maybe a few hundred houses a year. So it's not gonna booming, because 6-7 years RI, is not too bad, not too attractive as well. Unless you first thing, if you want to do like that, you're gonna come up with a tax incentive that probably, we always ask, every year budget wish list we send to the ministry, MOF, that we hope that, for household to install solar project, you'll get 10,000 ringgit of tax rebate or something like that. If we come up with this kind of program, then it might help to boost the household installation. If it is not, it gotta go through developer model. That we work with developer, we do a mass development on solar energy projects, 500 house, 1,000 house. So you straight away buy the house, and that solar installations cost is incumbent in the housing cost. Put it into mortgage, finance it, then you don't see the cost of solar energy projects. But you don't need to pay TNB bill probably every month after that. Buy the house with NEM programming.
That's very interesting. The next question is by Iswan. How do you see the prospect of renewable energy against Joe Biden's policy and Malaysia's policy?
The global trend is a very good lead, impact. I think to lead the people to have the global trend, the global market to have strong interest in solar energy. But if we look into more details of it, and US market actually doesn't impact Malaysia market that much. If we are just Malaysia, look at Malaysia domestic investment. But it's good to bring up the interest, the policy to, like example, it will impact RE100, more people will sign up RE100. There's some of the factories of RE100, they are factory in Malaysia as well. So that will impact us. But I would say the impact is low, but it's good for the whole momentum of the industry. It's not like when the old US government was in place, they don't believe in climate change, they don't believe in solar energy, they believe in coal energy, and all this probably was slowing down the momentum. Now it's good. So when US is growing their renewable energy sector, then China is growing, India is growing, then it will bring up other secondary market like Malaysia and third world country. So all the country will also roll out their renewable energy policy. When they roll out, then we'll see the impact. Like Malaysia, that we already ongoing, but a lot of other countries in Southeast Asia, they haven't actively rolled out, like Indonesia, Myanmar, Cambodia. They haven't rolled out their renewable energy policy.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Davis. So the next question is by Patrick Chin. Will battery storage be able to complement solar plants since the average sunlight is only 3 to 4 hours per day? Are the cost of materials such as PV modules, transformers, inverters increasing in view of the increasing demand locally and the foreign market?
Well, utility storage, of course, is a next future for solar energy. So this is to complement the weakness of renewable energy. The problem is just the financial feasibility is not there right now. So you need to go to the mass scale and give the right price for people to install utility or storage into solar system. Now it's still very expensive, so it's not really commercially feasible solutions. Yeah, raw material increase and other thing has increased. I think semiconductor price, IGBT in inverter is shortage, silicon material shortage. All this has increased some of the EPCC costs as well. So that will give us a bit challenges in the next probably 2 quarters.
Okay. The next question is asking in relations to your solar farm. Is there a reason why Solarvest only has own one solar farm, and do you plan to build more in the future?
You mean the 1 megawatt?
Yeah, 1 megawatt solar farm.
Yeah, I mean, we are very happy to be the only EPCC that own FIT plant. Yeah, I mean, in the past, you can compare with our competitor in EPCC. We are the only one who has FIT solar plant. I mean, a lot of people want to buy from us, but we don't want to sell. Then, if you ask when are we going to build the next one, we have our 50 megawatt. That's the next one.
Okay. Now, the recent COVID cases also affected many industries. So, does it affect your current project for Solarvest?
A little bit. I would say a little bit.
Okay. So next question is by Ching Guan. What are the associated risks in your current business model?
Government policy is a risk, of course. I'll
Government
say
policy.
we are the policy-driven business. How you mitigate government policy? Diversify. That's what we are doing. We are in Taiwan, we are in Vietnam, we are in Philippines. Of course, we are still putting very strong outlook in Malaysia. But when you're talking about risk, that is always a risk there. That you might finish NEM 3.0, there's a risk that there's no next policy coming out. So, but we do believe that Malaysian government have good planning on that. So that is why by ourselves, what can we do in ourselves rather than depending on the policymaker, so we can diversify our operations. And like you can see that we do expect Taiwan expansion is good. There might be a bigger market than Malaysia, what we're doing. So they have a 20 gigawatt of projects up to 2025. That's much more bigger than Malaysia plan. So, and then Philippines, every of the utility provider that you need to increase your energy source by 1% of RE every year. Strong. And Thailand is coming back, some of the projects. And Vietnam, of course, is continue to boom. And Indochina country and Indonesia having some policy to roll out. So these are the things that we can diversify to mitigate the policy risk. And the other thing is the cost control. Cost control is very important. We are cost-based business. We need to be very smart on controlling the cost and managing our OPEX. So cash flow is very important. Capital, working capital, and the cash flow control. That is another risk that we have. So being listed is one of the way that we can lower down the risk. Have more working facility, have more option to raise fund, raise cheaper fund. Then we mitigate the business risk.
Okay. Do you plan to go to the main market?
Yeah, we are. I mean, it's no secret. We're moving there in after mid of this year. we're going to submit our application, our transfer.
Excellent. Just now you mentioned about the Malaysians, Philippines, and the Taiwanese market, right? So how many percent of your revenue is coming from the domestic market, and how many percent from the foreign markets?
Now it's 100% Malaysia.
100% Malaysia. So the operation in Taiwan and Philippines is not yet revenue
Yeah,
generating.
not yet. We expect next year, 2022 maybe.
Do you plan to venture into other countries besides Taiwan and Philippines? That is by Meng
Yeah,
Shen.
yeah. Southeast Asia first. Um, Asia Pacific is for sure.
Okay. Do you have a dividend policy? That's asked by Gary.
We don't, but we do reward shareholders when we achieve our targets.
Okay. The next question is by Iswan. As the CEO, do you believe that the renewable energy will replace the conventional energy in the future?
Technically, it's possible with other technology like such as utility storage and all this. Technically it's possible, but to speak not biasing to renewable energy, it always depends on which source of energy is more efficient and more cheaper source. So I would say that with the current trend, we do not see in the short term, we do not see that coal energy or fossil energy is really growing that much to really give a good advantage on other different source of renewable energy. So that is why slowly replace that is possible. If you ask me, I do expect that if the utility storage, the storage system can go to a very, very competitive cost in the future, that is possible for some of the countries is 100% renewable or even 100% wind and solar energy possible. But it's always go back to different country policy. I do believe that it's really hard to become 100% global 100% renewable energy. There are always different choice for the people for the different country to choose. But there will be this, technically, this can be done. We just need to make sure that it is more cost effective and more cost effective to do it when solar or wind or other renewable energy is so cost effective and technically feasible to beat fossil energy costs, and you don't need policy to make that happen. Automatically, then everybody will turn to renewable energy.
Okay. Lee would like to ask, would you consider to diversifying your businesses to other renewable energy business or even electric vehicle charging stations?
Yes. we are working on the plan. Like that is why we answer the 5 years, bring in more technology content into energy application. EV charging is one of them.
Okay. Now, right now we see that there are a lot of solar players coming into play. So do you foresee that how do you protect your margins and how do you outplay your competitors?
We do see that more EPCC coming, but that was us 5 years ago, maybe. We don't play the same game. If you see Solarvest growing from subcontractor, full turnkey EPCC, then we're doing we do floating solar, then we expand to corporate PPA, then we start to own PPA, we start to go into overseas markets and all this. And with our track records, we will play at different tier, different market versus the EPCC just enter the game, which they might do EPCC for different tier of customer that we are working on. The market, the customers, the project that we're working on, some of the time it is more to bigger projects that you need financial strength, track records, performance bond, and all those criteria to enable you to participate in the project tender. So that's how we differentiate it. And of course, other than that, in the ecosystem, we bring in different technology and players, like Vision Digital. We partner with the banks, we partner with the insurance players, we work with overseas PPA developer. We go to regional operation. Example, when you have factory in Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, or Philippines, you will look for a EPCC. You can operate in all countries and regions. So this is how we differentiate.
The next question is, now in these days, PV tracker becomes a trend. So does Solarvest have any project with tracker mounting? How many % increases the power generation if compared to fixed ground mounting?
That's a debatable question, but we are looking into that solution. That's why I say we are bringing in technology, different technology in storage, tracker, different type of modules to see how it's increasing the yield of the projects. Tracker is one of them. We are still assessing the cost, the technical feasibility to bring it into Malaysia. One of the things that is debatable in Malaysia is because Malaysia have a very it's a 2-axis sun path only, so it's a 23-degree difference between 6 months. So when you track it, you just track the 23-degree difference only. You are not like European or US or even other country that you track 4 axis. We put a tracker, the performance can be like 30-40% increase. In Malaysia, no, they say it's gonna be like over 10%, 10 to 20%, but it's gonna be proven. I don't have data to prove that, but we do work with a tracker provider to look at how is a return of investment for putting tracker.
Okay. Chita would like to ask, like, for the solar farm, what is the minimum megawatt to generate positive cash flow, which we would include the cost maintenance and the capex for routine maintenance?
At any size, you can generate positive cash flow. So how much equity you put in. But for the economical scale, we always say rule of thumb, at least 5 megawatt. If you want to invest in solar farm. But now, to LS4 policy, is 10 megawatt is the smallest.
I see. Do you plan to JV with other renewable energy company in the medium term? That's asked by Lily.
We always work together, but not a JV company. We partnership with, like example, we partnership with G-Spark. We partnership with Nefinco to develop contracts, EBA contracts to commercial industrial. And we in Taiwan, of course, overseas we are doing JV with Taiwan solar players. In Philippines, we also doing partnership with our Philippine partner. So that's what we always doing. We like collaborations and partnership in growing the market together, especially in developing projects.
Jason would like to ask, do you agree that the current NOVA program would result in longer return on investment than previous NEM? Now, you mentioned before that how do you mitigate the weekends and public holiday which doesn't consume solar energy?
Yeah, it's a question that we ask people to take NEM 2.0, and people say, hey, wait, I see first, solar panel price might drop. So now NEM 2.0 finished and NEM 3.0 coming is not as good as NEM 2.0. That NEM 2.0, it take 5 years to finish. It's ridiculous. When we see that, why don't you guys install? is one-to-one offset. It's a so good policy that you just should apply and install. And now NAM 3.0 come out, then we know that, yeah, it's not as good as 2.0. So, but it still give you a reasonable return on investment, I would say. But GITA is still there. CA, GITA and CA allowance is still there. So yeah, they don't buy at one-to-one offset. They buy back at S&P rate, which is like 23 cents. So for 10 years, then after that it will become Selco. Yeah, it's not as good as NAM 2.0, but I will say that it's still feasible. It's still feasible. Now look at the investment return. Anything give you 3 years return of investment, is that a bad investment decision? I don't think so, personally.
Okay. Now on Envision Digital, what is their role in the O&M?
They're providing the software platform. They have very, very sophisticated operation and maintenance software, Envision Forecast, Envision Insight, that to give us to complement our O&M service, how we manage it, and to give optimizations on the yield, to tell us where the system go wrong, when you should clean it, what is the cost to do it, is it feasible to clean it every month, every 2 months, and also give you the indicator, predictive maintenance, what should you do. So basically, one thing is to optimize your yield with AI technology.
Okay. Now, of course, we have asked Mr. Davis you many questions in relation to the solar business model. So now there are still many questions to ask you in regards to your share price. Like, would you just like give us your comment? Like, at the current share price right now, do you think that your company is like undervalued?
It's a debatable question. But if you ask me look at it, okay, then I think like everybody say, you only invest on the things that you know. So how much do you know about this company? How much do you know about this industry? How much do you know about what is the next profit guideline and what is the projects that this company is having? I think I can't comment on the share price, right? But I can comment on what are the projects on hand for me, what are the profit expectations if we deliver the performance. So these are the base that for your investment decisions. So I lay out all my things, my projects in every time when we talk to the investor briefing, 600-700 millions of project pipeline in the next 2 years. Commercial and industrial segment, most of the time it contribute about 200 million for us in each year. Same this year you can see it, and we expect like that's about the yearly performance for commercial industrial. That's not inclusive our Taiwan projects or Philippine projects, our future other project other than LSS, NEDA, P2P, TPA, direct award projects. That's not inclusive our other diversifications in near terms, probably less than 3 years. So then you can approximately map the profit of the company, and then go with the share price. What is the PE ratio, then you can actually make your investment decisions. So I think by that, you're putting all things and the potential into our share price performance now, then definitely I think we can go more. We have so much potential to go further.
How much do you look to have like the Filipinos market and also the Taiwanese market add to your bottom line in the next few years?
Maybe I map an example. What is already on the table? which is not on the table, is difficult. I can tell you that I want to do 500 megawatt in Philippines, but I have nothing yet. So in Taiwan, upon 2025, they need to do 20 gigawatt. 20 gigawatt. Malaysia upon 2025 is 2 gigawatt. So what do we have in Taiwan? We have put up a 20 million of PG to secure a PPA, in the process to secure PPA, 40 megawatt of contracts. I haven't done the calculations, but with Malaysia 50 megawatt AC, we have 8 to 9 million ringgit of PAT, with average 22 cent plus of tariff. Taiwan project, we JV, we have 51%. If we get the 40 megawatt contracts, the rate is 50-60 cent Malaysia ringgit tariff. I think it's for 25 years. So how much would it contribute to our profit bottom line? So, and I think you can compute it out. And other than that, we are expecting EPCC contract for 90 megawatt that the GP of the project probably will stay around 10 to 15% as well. So that is what is already in our pipeline that we are working on. With the 20 gigawatt of targets, the Taiwan targets for solar, we do expect we can start to develop more contracts. The target is to develop around 500 megawatt of 1,000 megawatt of contracts upon 2025 in Taiwan. That doesn't mean all the project that we will EPCC or we will own. Some of them will own, some of them will develop and will sell. So Taiwan, you can do that for their business model. In Malaysia, you can't, because in Malaysia you have strictly LS4 is not transferable.
I see. All right, so that concludes our question and answer session. So we'd like to thank Mr. Davis Chong for joining our session and sharing with us your company's insights. Let us know what Solarvest is all about, understand your business performance as well as the future's plan going forward. So I'm sure that all of us here today have learned a great deal about Solarvest. So with that, I want to thank Mr. Davis Chong, the Group CEO of Solarvest, to come to our Can Trade webinars. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you. Good night.
All right, so let me tell you more about our next webinar. Give me a minute. All right, so for our next webinar, we have the topic of start of a new cycle, which is happening on the 22nd of April, 2021. It's a Tuesday. So it's from 8:30 to 9:45 p.m. So I've just given you the registration link in the chat box. Please click on the registration link to join our next webinar. So we'll be featuring the head of Kenanga Research to talk about this topic of start of a new cycle. So if you're always looking for trade ideas or stock picks, what stock to buy in an upcoming quarter, then this is the session that you should not miss, because the head of Kenanga Research, Mr. Koh, will share with you about his department's research of what are the potential companies to watch in the next quarter. Okay, so please register immediately for this session, start of a new cycle. All right, so for those of you who have not had a Kenanga share trading account, you may fill in this online form, which is at www.cantrade.com.my/open-account-form for you to put in your interest to sign up an account with Kenanga. So if you already have Kenanga trading account, that's also okay, because I understand that many of you are here at Kenanga clients, because we have a good news for you. For those of you who have not had an account, or for those of you who already had an account, so to celebrate the awards that Kenanga won in the annual Bursa Excellent Awards 2020, which was just concluded recently. So Kenanga Investment Bank has won the best overall equities participating organization. They are the best overall champion in the equities participating organization. So we are very excited about that. So to celebrate this sessions, so Kenanga is giving out 20 ringgit coffee voucher to first 100 people who open an account with them from the period of 16 April to 30th April. So it's approximately 2 weeks. Starting tomorrow from 16 April to 30 April. So if you're the first 100 people to open an account with them, so you will win Starbucks coffee voucher that's worth 20 ringgit. And for assisting Kenanga clients, all right, so if you're the first 100 people from the campaign period 16 April to 30th April to perform at least one match trade online, one online match trade during this campaign period, you will also be eligible to get the coffee voucher worth 20 ringgit. So that is that is to celebrate the many awards that Kenanga Investment Bank has won in the Bursa Excellence Awards. So in total, we won like 7 awards, and then we are still the best overall equities participating organization. We are champion. Okay, so in other words, right? In other words, Kenanga is the best stockbroker in overall equities category. So with that, I want to thank all of you for tuning in to this session live chat with Solarvest Holdings Bhd. I hope that you all have gained enormous value out of it. So thank you so much for joining, and we'd like to thank the group CEO Davis Chong to come to our session to share with us the insights into the company. With that, may you all have a pleasant rest of the day. This is Shen Chu signing off. Bye bye.